I love Michigan. I really love Michigan, but I think the reason that I love Michigan the most is that when the world starts to end, it's the perfect place to live. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Throughout this video, hopefully I will be able to convince you that you should move to Michigan, or that if you're living here now, you should stay here, because it's gonna end, you know, the world's just gonna be like, guess we're done here. This is a fun little idea that I had about the world ending. I consider myself to be somewhat apolitical, and by saying that, I don't mean that I secretly have a shrine for Donald J. Trump. That's a crazy slip. Donald Trump. This video is not politically motivated is what I'm trying to say. I don't have a shrine of Donald J. Trump in my closet. I'm so dumb that like in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, this week climate change is not going to be here. And then the next week it's like, oh my gosh, it's here. But it's clearly a gradual thing. I'm no weatherman, but it was 70 degrees last week and it's been 23 today. So fuck. That would be cool if like the weatherman just went rogue one day and was like, hey guys, I'm not going to tell you about today's weather, but in 10 to 20 years, the sea level is going to be so high that New York City won't exist, Los Angeles won't exist. I guess they will exist, but it's going to be underwater. And I've just been thinking that Michigan is a great place to live for the end of the world, because the Great Lakes, fresh water, you know, resources, you need that. The Upper Peninsula, more resources, kind of untapped. There's only a bunch of people up there on opiates and, you know, a couple of colleges. And other than that, just forests and trees. And I'm just a weatherman, and I took mushrooms last night. I guess that explains why I ended up on YouTube and not at WXYZ Detroit, because I like joking around. Why don't they just joke around more on the news? So you move to Michigan and you think, okay, where should I live? The Upper Peninsula in 2048 is going to be 80 to 90 degrees year round. There will be no more snow. It will be California of the Midwest. And instead of being on the ocean, it's going to be on Lake Superior, which, since it's fresh water, is probably the most valuable body of water in the entire world. And if you're a business person, you could make yourself a lot of money, because you know what you need when the world is ending is money.
I see the underdeveloped resources of northern Michigan. I see a syndicated development consortium exploiting over $1.5 billion in forest products. I see a paper mill, and if the strategic metals are there, a mining operation. A greenbelt between the condos on the lake and a waste management facility, focusing on the newest rage in toxic waste.
This is going to be a niche reference for, you know, probably not too many people, but I guess I don't also know the reach of his books. But there's a guy, the greatest author of all time, by the name of Jonathan Rand. He wrote the American Chillers and, more importantly, the Michigan Chillers series. And if you move to Michigan, you could, you know, potentially run into him, which feels significant. You could even go to this place called Chiller Mania, where they have like his books and his merch and all this stuff, and he like sometimes works in the back, and according to the Google reviews, he'll occasionally come out. And every time I've went, he's never been there. But like if I got 100,000, maybe 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, I could kind of send him an email and be like, hey, Jonathan Rand, his real name's Christopher Wright, it's just a pen name, and just be like, hey, you know, can we meet? Can I make a video with you? Because that would be really fucking cool. One of the most important reasons for both you and I to live in Michigan when the world is ending is that you can make your hand out of the state and easily let somebody know when all the communication technologies are down. You're like, hey, I'm here right now. Where are you? But then the thing is that like if somebody's not right next to you, they won't see where you are. And it's also crazy because it's not only the Lower Peninsula, and I have to set the microphone down to do this. It's the Upper Peninsula too. This is what Michigan looks like. I think that's all my manifesto really has on it. If you're looking to decorate your walls before the end of the world, please check out my print shop. I have photos from a lot of my adventures throughout Michigan. If you use the promo code End of the World, it'll give you 10% off your entire purchase. Just use that at checkout. Definitely not the best video I've ever made, but good enough.